Rain stitched the night together in thin silver lines, hissing as it struck the embers. The warehouse still breathed smoke sighing from charred beams, the smell of wet ash and melted plastic clinging to everything. Ethan Cole stood a few steps back from the caution tape, turnout gear streaked black, helmet cradled under his arm. He knew fires the way some men knew music. Not the noise, the structure. How heat moved. How oxygen whispered where it shouldn't. How flames told the truth long after witnesses forgot. This fire was wrong. The pattern on the north wall climbed fast, too fast for the accelerant they claimed. The burn lines, low, clean, directional, spoke of intent that wasn't his. He bent, tracing a gloved finger along a blistered joist, following the V pattern up to where it narrowed, then forked. Cole. The voice came sharp. Investigator Marcus Bell, crisp jacket, crisp smile. Step back. Ethan complied. He always did. By morning, the news ran a headline that felt like a punch. Firefighter questioned in suspicious blaze. By noon, it hardened into firefighter linked to arson. By nightfall, the landowner, Grant Holloway, developer, donor, man with land to clear, held a press conference with the right amount of sorrow and the wrong amount of relief. Ethan watched it from his kitchen, hands steady around a cold mug. He said nothing. The fire had taken a building. The story would try to take his life. They called it a suspension, pending investigation. They took his badge gently, as if kindness could soften the cut. His captain wouldn't meet his eyes. Marcus Bell's report moved fast, too fast. It cited an accelerant at the scene. It ignored the weather data. It omitted the directional burn anomalies. It leaned heavily on a witness who swore they saw Ethan's truck near the site after hours. Ethan read the report like a burn map, noting where the truth had been starved of oxygen. He didn't rage. He didn't beg. He built a timeline. At dawn, he walked the perimeter of the warehouse grounds legally, publicly counting steps, noting slopes, drainage paths. He pulled weather archives, overlaying rainfall intensity with reported ignition times. He called old colleagues, not for favors but for facts. Response times, hose pressures, radio logs. At night, he slept lightly and dreamed of heat. Grant Holloway's land deals surfaced quietly. Rezoning approvals filed weeks before the fire. Environmental reviews stalled by one obstacle, that warehouse. Old ownership. Protected easements. Expensive to remove. Fire was cheap. Ethan felt the weight settle, not vengeance, but clarity. Fires lied only when men taught them to. He would let the fire speak again. Ethan wasn't allowed on scenes anymore. But he didn't need scenes. He needed patterns. He rebuilt the blaze in miniature, scaled models, char tests using scrap lumber, controlled burns documented to the millimeter. He recreated the alleged accelerant spread, and watched it fail to produce the same signatures. Then he adjusted airflow, wind angles, entry points. Nothing matched until he changed one variable Marcus Bell had dismissed: pre-ignition heating. The fire had been prepared. Ethan found records of a portable generator rented under a shell company linked to Holloway's fixer. He found fuel purchase logs, small amounts, staggered, meant to avoid attention. He found camera blind spots created not by chance, but by a temporary construction barrier erected the day before. The timeline snapped into place. Not a firefighter's crime. A developer's impatience. Ethan compiled everything into a clean narrative. Not accusations. Physics. But physics alone doesn't win against power. You need a moment. The city announced a public safety forum on arson prevention, a Holloway-backed event meant to reassure investors. Marcus Bell was slated to speak. Ethan requested time on the agenda as a community expert. They laughed. Then they agreed. Optics mattered. On stage, Ethan didn't name names. He showed burn patterns. He demonstrated airflow effects with smoke tubes. He played footage from his controlled tests, accelerant fires that bloomed loud and messy, unlike the quiet precision of the warehouse blaze. Then he unveiled the signature. A specific charring pattern formed only when materials were preheated over time, then ignited at a single point, something a firefighter wouldn't do, but a planner would. He overlaid images. The warehouse beam, his test beam. Identical. Murmurs rippled. Finally, Ethan presented a soaked fragment recovered from a drainage culvert days after the fire, a cable sleeve with heat damage inconsistent with post-ignition exposure. Preheated. Electrical. Generator grade. Marcus Bell shifted. Grant Holloway's smile tightened. The fire spoke. The crooked investigator tried to pivot, claimed contamination, coincidence. Ethan waited. He played the last piece. Rental records timestamped during a window Ethan was logged at a training facility across town, corroborated by 10 witnesses and biometric entry logs. The room changed temperature. An ethics review opened that afternoon. Then a criminal inquiry. Then subpoenas. Marcus Bell resigned within a week. Grant Holloway's fixer disappeared from his board. Land deals froze. Ethan's name was cleared quietly. The apology came slower. At night, alone, he wondered if revenge had burned him too. He hadn't struck back with fire, but he had set something alight. A truth that would keep spreading. Justice, he learned, was a controlled burn. Rain returned to the city. Ethan stood at a new scene, not as a suspect, but as a firefighter again. The flames were ordinary, honest. He moved with calm, directing crews, reading the structure. When it was done, he stood watching steam rise from blackened wood. A reporter asked if he felt vindicated. Ethan shook his head. I felt accurate. They rebuilt the warehouse site into a park. A small plaque mentioned resilience and safety. No names. Ethan didn't need one. He had learned that fires could be framed, but they couldn't be fooled forever. Ashes kept records. Burn lines testified. And when you listened long enough, the truth wrote its own alibi. He walked back into the rain, turnout gear dark, embers cooling behind him. Another fire answered. Another lie extinguished.